Hi, I'm Harold Bell, and this is the Legends of Inside Sports and the Way We Were. On today's program, I want to do a presentation about a young college baseball coach who was attending his first baseball clinic in Tennessee, and the exhilarating experience that he got out of that clinic. This is probably the most important message I have ever read when it comes to making America really great. If you are truly interested in making America great, listen to this great presentation by the late, great John Scolinos. Only if this message is implemented can we start down the path to making America great. This young coach tells about this experience, his first college baseball clinic. And he said, John Scolinos was a Hall of Fame college baseball coach. He coached Pepperdine University from 1948 to 1960 and Cal Poly University from 1953 to 1991. In Nashville, Tennessee, during the first week of January 1996, more than 4,000 baseball coaches descended upon the Opera Line Hotel for the 52nd Annual American Baseball College Association Convention. He said, while I waited in line to register with the hotel staff, I heard other, more veteran coaches rumbling about the lineup of speakers scheduled to present during the weekend. One name in particular kept resurfacing, always with the same sentiment. John Scolinos is here. Oh, man, worth every penny of my airfare. I said to myself, who is John Scolinos? I wondered. No matter, I was just happy to be there. In 1996, Coach Scolinos was 78 years old and 5 years retired from a college coaching career that began in 1948. He shuffled to the stage to an impressive standing ovation, wearing dark polyester pants, a light blue shirt, and a string around his neck from which hung home plate. A full-size stock white home plate. Seriously, I wondered, who is this guy? After speaking for 25 minutes, not once mentioning the prop hanging around his neck, Coach Scolinos appeared to notice the snickering among some of the coaches. Even those who knew Coach Scolinos had to wonder exactly where he was going with this, or if he had simply forgotten about home plate since he had gotten on stage. Then finally, he said, you're all probably wondering why I'm wearing home plate around my neck. His voice growing testy, I laughed along with others, acknowledging the possibility. He said, I might be old, but I am not crazy. The chuckles gradually faded as 4,000 coaches grew quiet. The fog lifting as the old coach's message began to unfold. He turned the plate toward himself and using a Sharpie began to draw something. And when he turned it toward the crowd, point up, a huge house was seen, complete with a freshly drawn door and 2 windows. This is the problem in our homes today, with our marriages, with the way we parent our kids, with our discipline, We don't teach accountability to our kids, and there's no consequences for failing to meet standards. We widen the plate. Got quiet. And there was a pause. And then he said, to the point at the top of the house, he added a small American flag. This is the problem in our schools today. The quality of our education is going downhill fast, and teachers have been stripped of the tools they need to be successful and to educate and discipline our young people. We are allowing others to widen home plate. Where is that getting us? The room was silent. He replaced the flag with a cross and said, this is the problem in our church, where powerful people in positions of authority have taken advantage of young children only to have such an atrocity swept under the rug for years. Our church leaders are widening home plate for themselves, and we allow it. And the same is true with our government. Our so-called representatives make rules for us that don't apply to themselves. They take bribes from lobbyists in foreign countries. They no longer serve us, and we allow them to widen home plate. And we see our country falling into a dark abyss while we watch. Man, I was amazed. At a baseball convention where I was expected to learn something about curveballs and bunting and how to run better practices, I had learned something far more valuable. From an old man with home plate strung around his neck, I had learned something about life, about myself, about my own weaknesses, and about my responsibilities as a leader. I had to hold myself and others accountable to that which I knew to be right, lest our families, our faith, and our society continue down an undesirable path. He said, the reason I'm standing before you today is to share with you baseball people what I've learned in my life, what I have learned about home plate in my 78 years. Several hands went up when Scolinos asked how many Little League coaches were in the room. Do you know how wide home plate is in Little League? After a pause, someone offered 17 inches. More of a question than an answer. He said, that's right. How about Babe Ruth's day? Any Babe Ruth coaches in the house? Another long pause. 17 inches. A guess from another reluctant coach. He said, that's right. Now, how many high school coaches do we have in the room? Hundreds of hands shot up as the pattern began to appear. How wide is home plate in high school baseball? 17 inches, they said, sounding more confident. You're right, Scolinos added. They said, man, are there any college coaches here? How wide is home plate in college, he asked. 17 inches again, everyone said in unison. Any minor league coaches here? How wide is home plate in pro ball? 17 inches. Right. And in major league, how wide home plate is in the major leagues? 17 inches. 17 inches, he confirmed, his voice bellowing off the walls. And what do they do with a big league pitcher who can't throw the ball over 17 inches? There was a pause again. They sent him to Pocatello, wherever that is. He hollered, drawing a big laugh. What they don't do is this. They don't say, oh, that's okay, Jimmy. You can't hit a 17-inch target? Well, we'll make it 18 or 19 inches for you. We'll make it 20 inches so you have a better chance of hitting it. If you can't hit that, let us know and we'll still make it wider. Say 25 inches. Pause. Everybody gets quiet. What do we do when our best player shows up late to practice? When our team rules forbid facial hair and a guy shows up unshaven? What if he gets caught drinking? Do we hold him accountable or do we change the rules to fit him? Do we widen home plate? He said, if I'm lucky, you will remember one thing from this old coach today. It is this: if we fail to hold ourselves to a higher standard, a standard of what we know to be right, if we are unwilling or unable to provide a consequence when they do not meet the standard, and if our school, churches, and our government fail to hold themselves accountable to those that they serve, there is but one thing to look forward to. With that, he held home plate in front of his chest, turned it around, and revealed its dark black side. He said, "Dark days ahead." Coach Scolinos died in 2009 at the age of 91, but not before touching the lives of hundreds of players and coaches, including my own. Meeting him at my first convention kept me returning year after year, looking for something similar in wisdom and inspiration from other coaches. He is the best clinic speaker the American Baseball College Association has ever known because he was much more than a baseball coach. His message was clear. Coaches, keep your players, no matter how good they are. Your own children, your churches, your government, and most of all, keep yourself at 17 inches. And this, my friends, is what our country has become and what is wrong with it today. And how to fix it? Don't widen the plate. I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you to all the great men and women who have inspired and touched my life as I have tried not to widen the plate against all odds. You don't have to answer to me, but look in the mirror and ask yourself the question: have I tried to widen the plate? And have I just talked the talk and not walked the walk? You know, this message, 20 years later, our schools are failing us all around us. Larry Nassar of the Olympic gymnastic team, sexual abuse of hundreds of our children. This man was a prophet, just like Muhammad Ali, a prophet. Our government divided. Did you see the State of the Union message the other night? The Republicans and the Democrats. I mean, what kind of a display was that for the American people? What hope were they giving us? They cannot get along themselves, and they're supposed to be our leaders? And those of you talking out both sides of your mouth, I'm not listening. At least I've tried. I'm not perfect. I'm flawed. But at least I've tried to do some good. Did I leave the world a better place than I found it? I don't think so. I don't think so. There's no doubt about it. Not the way things are going. Well, I want to close out by saying that, as I always say, that every black face you see is not your brother, and every white face you see is not your enemy. And until next time, I'm Harold Bell, and you can color me gone. Don't forget to check me out on the original InsideSports.com blog, You can find me on blackmeninamerica.com. Have a great day.